Alright, Tom and Steve, another video, and this is going to be a two-parter, guys, and the first story is pretty extraordinary. And the first part has to do with a dog, 65-pound dog, and it has to do with the patient. And to give you a long story, she suffers from seizures. She's never had them before. And also what they're thinking that it could be combined with the stroke. Don't know yet, and they don't know what the cause is, so they're kind of working that out. But we sat and talked for some period of time. She's feeling depressed. She's going through some anxiety about that, and but she told me about her dog. And what happened with her dog is that she was at home and just taking care of her son, and they're just doing her typical day, and nothing unusual, anything going on and all. But she notices the dog. The dog is just impatient. The dog wants to get out of the gate. It wants to get. It had an enclosure. The dog was just carrying on like she's never seen the dog do this before. It's just carrying on. So she opens the gate, and the dog comes out. And what the dog does, there's a recliner chair behind her. And what the dog does, 65-pound dog, puts the paws right up. The force itself pushed her back into the chair. It just, she just went back into the chair. Soon after, within like maybe 30 seconds, she went into a full seizure. She doesn't remember anything after that. She doesn't know what all the details were. All she remembers waking up, and she's in the MRI. She's having the test being done on her. But she couldn't remember what happened during the whole time during her seizure. What was interesting is that they've had this dog now, I think that about 4 years. Very close. What is interesting about this story is that dogs can sense things. And this dog was really impatient. It was carrying on like it needed to get out, and then she found out why the dog needed to get out, because she was about to go into a seizure. She had no idea. She had no idea what was going to happen to her. The second part of the story, too, which is really interesting, she has a ring. Very unassuming ring, nothing really, no big deal on that. And but she said, we were just talking about, we got in discussion, and part of it sometimes, I say this many times, we take down the ozone. We're going to talk about some things that they're out of the extraordinary, out of the ordinary. And so we started talking, and she said, she had this ring. She's had this one particular ring. It's on her finger. She's had this ring now since she was like a little kid, 2, 3, 4 years old. She couldn't wear it at the time. But even as a kid, that ring, there was something very special about that ring. She didn't know. As a kid, she didn't really quite know. As she's getting older and she's able to wear the ring, she can touch it. And what she feels at the time when she touches that ring, a previous life. And she can't quite remember, but there is a strong sense that she's had a previous life wearing this ring. This ring it has something about a memory about her previous life. Now, I don't, the details, she doesn't quite remember all of it, but all she knows in that she's had a previous life. And she kind of said that she was a woman before in the previous life. But all the details are not there. What she kind of described is kind of a middle place. And I think that sometimes happens to people when they pass away. There's a transition period. There's a transition realm. And I think that what she was describing, that transitional realm, it was kind of like a gray area, kind of bluish gray, and there are other beings in there. And that's all that she can remember. But every time she looks at the ring, every time she sometimes touches it, flashbacks into that particular being in that realm. So what's interesting is that when you never know when you see patients what you're going to find out, what is being discussed. Let me go into part 2, and I have discussed this before. Love has no bounds. It is, and this is one extraordinary story too. And what is extraordinary about it is, I talked about a patient some videos back about a husband and wife, and the wife had cancer. When I walked in the room, I could not tell whether she's male or female. Cancer can be terrible, everybody. It can be really bad. It's devastating what it can do to the body. It didn't matter to him. The husband, it did not matter to him. He was so much in love with his wife. He was on his knees, and it was just like that love. And that's what's so really just extraordinary about the love. Going to the next room, and another patient that I walked in, and I got to tell you, it took my breath away. It took my breath away. I couldn't, just when I looked at her, it really took my breath away. Cancer was devouring it, and it was just terrible what I was seeing. but there was a family in there. It did not matter whatsoever what she looked like. What it mattered was the love. And the love that the family felt to each other. It was extraordinary. When I walked in there, it was just really, God, I mean, you could just feel it. I don't know, and we talked about the physical realm, being in the physical realm. When we're in the physical realm, we feel emotions, but we feel the physical part of the emotion. And that's when you walked in the room, like even with the husband and wife, and in this particular case, the physical realm, the love that you could feel it just in when you walked in that room. It was extraordinary. Anyway, and that's my little buzzer going off, and I have to go here real quick. But anyway, I just gotta let you know it's love. YouTube, it looks for the sensational, and this is not sensational, but I tell you one thing about love, it is profound. It is absolutely profound. In times I have, I'm honored by sometimes when I walk into a room, and I can feel that love, and the love between family, between a husband and wife, the family between a mother and the children and the husband is just extraordinary. Love. It is, and just love everybody. Simple, but I got to tell you, it is absolutely, utterly profound. It is just profound how people can be in love with just love itself. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I appreciate your time, and as always, I hope your day is going well. Until the next video, I appreciate your time, and thanks again, everybody. Thanks.